Happy to introduce the West Virginia head coach, Mike Carey. To his immediate right, his first student athlete is Crystal Caldwell. On the end is Ayana Yaya Dunning. Coach, give us your opening comments about how the ball game played.
Yeah, first of all, I'm proud of our players. Of all the injuries and all the stuff went on. So, a lot of people think I probably was in there yelling at them, but I wasn't. I was in there praising them. Yaya Dunning, great student athlete, already got her degree, going to get her master's at the end of this year, so very proud of that. Now, about the game, it was two halves. They went 2-3, went a little bit bigger the second half, and they hurt us on the boards. They had 16 offensive rebounds, just killed us, and we didn't do a good job boxing out. And then they went 2-3 on the other side, and we didn't do a good job executing. It was a different of both halves. First half, we didn't put Delta Dawn on the foul line. Second half, she had 13 foul shots. So, it was just a tale of two halves. It really was. So, give them credit. Give them credit. They went to zone, and we didn't execute against it. They attacked the offensive boards, and we didn't do a good job checking out.
What do you think was the problem, I guess, in the second half? I think I love the exception of Delta getting 13 foul shots. What do you think was the difference in the second half?
Well, I thought we didn't attack their zone very well, and they got offensive rebounds. I thought we did a decent job on keeping them off the boards the first half, and in the second half, I think they were getting second and third shots, and we were putting them at the foul line. When you continue to give them second and third chances and foul them, get them at free foul shots, and then you get behind, you come down, you don't execute on the offensive end.
I would ask that you please identify yourself and your affiliation when you're asking your questions. Thank you very much. By the way, the West Virginia locker room is now open.
Coach, Kevin Tressolini from the News Journal here in Delaware. Delaware only had 9 turnovers. Should you guys have been able to force a little bit more? And I was surprised you guys didn't press more than you did. Why didn't you press more today?
Well, our best pressing team was when Crystal Leary was in there, and but we had to keep Yaya in it. We need scoring. When we got behind, we needed a lot more scoring. Avery Fields, Yaya's our best scorers in the paint. So it kind of, do we want scoring or do we want to press them more? So, but we just didn't get stops. We just didn't get stops like we were the first half. We weren't pressing a lot the first half. We were extending some, but we weren't getting stops. I think the difference was when they came big the second half, I thought that was smart on their part and went in the 2-3 zone, and then our guards did not do a good job boxing out. And then when we did press, we didn't turn them over as much as I thought we would.
Dave Willauer, Box Score News. Talk about you guys keying on Kelsey Buchanan. She made some real good shots. What did you do defensively on her to kind of shut her down a little bit?
Not really. We did nothing special. We just in our defense, really nothing special. Be honest with you, we were trying to stay on Dawn, and 30. What'd she have? 33. So
Actually, let me just reintroduce Jake Schwartz, FoxSports.com. Talk about, I guess, coming into this game as an 11 seed, a 17. You were on a 3-game losing streak. You had just lost to Oklahoma, I believe, in the Big 12. What was your mindset, I guess, going into this game? And you were already taken on like 2 weeks earlier, probably the best player in the country, in Brittany Griner. What was your mindset, I guess, going on into this when you were about to face the number 2 scorer in Delaware?
Well, we was excited. We're excited. We're excited to play anybody. So, we weren't intimidated. We didn't come in here worrying about the crowd or her. We're excited. Our players are competitors and was looking for the challenge. And again, I thought we met the challenge of the second half. We didn't hit shots. They hit shots. They got offensive rebounds. We turned it over. They didn't turn it over, and that's the difference in the game. They go to the foul line 22 times. We go 6. Figure, add that up, how that adds up.
Dave Ginsburg, Associated Press. Yana, second half of the game against Oklahoma, very similar. Were there similarities to these 2 games, and how disappointing is it to you to have your season end on with 2 bad second halves?
I just think the similarities were we didn't execute both games in the second half. We didn't execute as well as we could have, and like Coach said, we weren't hitting shots, and they were hitting shots, and we weren't getting stops. But it is kind of frustrating to lose just because I'm a competitor any game, but I've enjoyed all 4 years here with my teammates, and while I do have this bitter taste in my mouth, I couldn't be happier to have played at another university.
Crystal, Kevin Tressolini from the News Journal. How did Delaware's defensive switch make it difficult for you guys in the second half?
Well, they tried to slow us down a lot. We like to get up and down the floor. First half, like we keep saying, we were executing, we were hitting our shots, and then the second half, they went zone on us, and I think we held the ball too much instead of reversing it or trying to get in the paint, and it just made us stand around too much, and we were stagnant and couldn't get going.
Todd Murray, Dominion Post. First, it almost seemed like with the Oklahoma game, and you were on such a roll in that game going into halftime, and again here today, you made a nice run there in the last couple of minutes, and you go up 7, and all of a sudden you got to leave the court for 15 minutes. How hard is that?
Well, I mean, that's the game. You can't, there's going to be breaks. You have media timeouts, you have timeouts, so you just have to continue to play. And then I guess I got cold, but I have to be able to do other things. I missed a bunch of box outs, a lot of defensive assignments, so you can't just look at the offensive end, because if I do things on the defensive end, then maybe I can get going offensively. So you just can't look at it when you're not making shots.
How good can this team be next year with the players you've got coming back off injury, hopefully healthy, with the returning players?
I hate that we're losing Yaya. I really do. She's a great person, great player, but I think we can be really great next year. Coach just got finished talking to us about our future and how this is the time now where we need to get started and work on our games and work on ourselves and get in the gym, because this is when teams are made over the summer. And I think if we do our job, we can be great.
Down here.
Coach, this is Martin Frank at the News Journal. I wanted to ask you about your impressions of Elena Deladon. I mean, obviously in the first half, you guys did a really good job defensively on her with, Avery Fields and everything. I mean, did she kind of elevate her game a little bit in the second half, do you think?
What happened, and we didn't do a good job of it. When we started pressing, and then we've got our smaller guards matched up on her on the rotation in the press, and, we kept time to switch it and switch it and switch it back because they weren't pushing it down. We had time to switch it back, but we didn't do it. There was about 5 times the second half we did not switch it back for our 4 to be on her. And she just drove a shot over top of us. And I thought, to me, that was the biggest difference the second half. When we started pressing and trapping a little bit, the rotation, she ended up on a smaller guard and took advantage of that. And we didn't do a good job once, on the rotation.
Who's got the mic? Right here.
Mike Graham, Hayes, ESPN. You faced Griner, you faced Maya Moore, Tarazi, all those guys. What is unique about Deladon? What does she present?
Well, she can go inside out. I mean, to me, that's, Tarazi could too. I mean, there's a lot of them could. 6'5". There was a lot of times we were in great position. How many times on the press we had them stop and they just lobbed up to her? Okay, that's big. And then when they lob up to her, if that's a post, we probably got a 4 or 5 on her. You know what I mean? But being a guard, we have a guard on her, and then when we're pressing, they just lob over top, and she would get it, and then don't want to foul her because she's a great foul shooter. But, she presents a lot of problems. She really does. You got to overplay her, try to keep the ball out of her hand, and when she catches it, she will pass, very unselfish player, but also will back you down and shoot over top of you.
Ayana, what was the toughest thing today because you were, for the most part, were matched up on Deladon. What was the toughest part about staying with her? Well, you were mainly, I guess, you weren't actually matched up on her, but you were, she was going at you a lot. What was the toughest part about stopping her?
Just the toughest part, I was just focused on getting my hands up. I know that she's a really smart player and that she would try to draw fouls, and she was getting a lot of and ones, so just getting my hands up, trying to contest the shot, just staying in front of her. A lot of times I would be in help side and try to deny the pass or try to make force the guards to reverse it and not lob it into her. But I think the biggest thing was just staying in front of her and contesting her shot.
You did a couple of big impressions, I guess, of Elena Delle Donne, making a couple nice moves, I guess, into the lane. Did you feel like, you know, being the only senior, I guess, in the starting five, it was your job to carry this team and maybe try to, because it looked like in the first half, you looked like this was well on the way to a big upset.
Yeah, I think we all just came out ready to play. It's the NCAA tournament, and everybody elevates their game. Nobody wants to go home. No one wants their season to end. So I think we just all came out and wanted to play, and we wanted to win this game.
And you knew this was being that it's your last game ever. No matter what, whatever happens, did you know that you were playing like, you know, if we don't win, we got to go home and I never play here in West Virginia again? That was on your mind, I'm guessing, coming into today?
That was definitely something that went through my mind. I was just thinking, I don't want my season to end. I don't want my season to end. Whatever I have to do, I want to try to go out there and do it. I know that in order to really help my team, I have to stay out of foul trouble, and that's something that I was really focusing on, trying not to get in foul trouble so I can stay out there on the court and help my teammates. But I was definitely thinking that throughout the game.
In the back, please.
Scott Grayson with WV Illustrated. Crystal kind of talked about it. I know there was a little bit of a mention about the future, obviously. You won't be here, but you are very familiar with the parts that are going to be back next year. Can you kind of, in your words, put into play what you think this team will have next year and how good it could be?
I think this team for next year has a great opportunity. We have everybody coming back except for myself. They're going to be very experienced. It's going to be their second year in the Big 12, so they're more familiar with it. 5 seniors who are all great players, great people. They have a lot of experience, and I think they have just a great opportunity. They have great leadership, and I think they'll be very successful next year.
Crystal, Ayanna, Yaya, Coach Carey, thank you very much.
Thank you.